Hello, this is Future Brett just popping into the start of this video, and I'll pop it again at the end. This was recorded before the news that dropped the other day, and I thought I still had some points about the initial world decision that I wanted to get across, so I decided to let the video keep going. But I have essentially re-uploaded it with this at the beginning and then a little bit at the end of me talking about the changes to Worlds, which we will then also cover a lot more in the podcast that Richard and I do on Sunday. So enjoy my ramblings about outdated topics, and then stick around for the end where I will talk about the Worlds Festival. Hello and welcome to UK Versus, and I'm going to beat a bit of a dead horse. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but regionals got in the way, and then regionals content got in the way, and now we've got AOT2 and Star Trek spoilers coming in. So I never really got to react to the world news. And I know people like Tam and David and other people have already kind of covered this to death, singing that it's the death of OP and it's a massive mistake from UVS and everything going on there. Before I get to my butt, what is the actual drama? For people who don't watch other content creators, which is probably not a lot of you, Worlds is only being open to the 64 people that are participating staff and media. What does this mean? It basically means if you are not attending, if you're not part of the 64 Worlds players, there is nothing for you to do there. If you are part of the 64 players and you lose in single elimination, because eventually there will be a single elimination, as far as we can tell, there'll be nothing for you to do there. And don't get me wrong, the venue that they had last year is very cool. It has a little arcade, it has a pool with some nice pool volleyball, it has a nice hot tub, and there's a lot of amenities around, including Disneyland, not too far down. But that's not what we're there for. We're there to play this game. And we want to celebrate this game. Worlds is an experience. People I know travelled to Worlds last year who weren't invited just to take part in it. And I've been saying all year that I, regardless of invite, want to go to Worlds because it's the big event of the year. And I know there's been a lot of naysayers and a lot of people going on saying this was a terrible decision by UVS, but I don't think it was. And I'm not saying I don't think it was a terrible decision. I don't think it was a decision by the current UVS. Now, it was meant to go out and get some tinfoil so I could make myself a little hat, but I don't think UVS is responsible for this decision as it currently stands. There is no way Josh, who's been talking on our stream, in articles, in every way he can about making Universus events to be an actual event, is going to then go and lock off the biggest event of the year. There's no way he wants to have these events that are designed to bring everyone in who loves the IPs, not just players but fans of the IPs, make regionals more accessible to everyone and bring people in and expose them to the game from people outside the game. Is going to look at the biggest event we have in the year and go, yeah, let's limit that to 64, but next year we could have over 200 people playing. Make it make sense. There's no way. And there's so many people I saw who were calling out going, it's a terrible decision. I don't think it was their decision. I think it's a situation they've been put into, either by previous OP, as people have noted, this year's OP system was very geared towards competitive play. And if we look back at the beginning of the year, where the Swiss rounds were supposed to be half Swiss, half draft, it kind of makes sense that we would get this kind of selective Worlds where it was locked off, and other games do it quite well. But we are a close-knit community where most people know each other and we want to support each other. And I don't think UVS is going to shoot themselves in the foot in that kind of way and lock out the community when it's the community that drives this game. Worlds for the last 2 years has been a massive event that has had massive turnout. Well, a massive turnout from people who just want to go and support the game. And talking to Josh, we had him on stream, we were talking to when we found out through the summit, to hit reading his articles. No way is this a Josh decision. Whether Alex put this in place first, and Josh has kind of been grandfathered into it, or if it's a venue decision, if it's a cost decision, I don't think this is a decision UVS wanted to make. I think this is a decision that's been forced upon them. But yeah, I get it. I sound like I'm shilling for the company. I sound like I'm defending the company. But this is not something I would expect them to do. This is not something we've seen them do before. They've never limited an event from spectators, from support. What vendor is going to want to show up to 64 people? It's going to bring in more views on the Twitch and other things like that. But the Twitch, as far as I'm aware, isn't monetized. So they're not going to make any money through subs. They're not going to make any money through ad revenue. They'd make more money through people attending. They could charge a small fee. Hell, they could, through the side events, get product out there, get more information, get more interviews, get nice B-roll for the events for next year, highlight Critical Role, which comes out the month afterwards, or even 3 weeks after that. Make it make sense. As much as as people are saying, it's a terrible decision, OP is ruined, Worlds is a farce, I 100% think this was not a UVS decision. I think this was in the works and Josh has been fighting it, which is why the information came now, and trying to open it up for, say, Josh joined June? I think he's been fighting it for 3 to 4 5 months and has been trying to open it up, but basically can't. So got the information out there as quickly as he could once it was basically set in stone that it was going to be closed off, so people did not start booking in advance. This is a testament to UVS once again having greater transparency, letting us know information well in advance. I really hope that me dragging this up again doesn't cause more issues. I just wanted to give my thoughts on it, that yes, it sucks. As someone who is having a tough year in the actual game for topping events, I'm not confident I'm making it towards. My points are too low. The game has grown exponentially in the EU, and our player base is a lot stronger. I'm most likely going to get pushed out and qualify for Worlds this year, and I'm happy for that. I want more players to get the recognition they deserve. But yeah, I wanted to go to Worlds. I wanted to support my community. I wanted to support my friends. And I wanted to go out there and record the EU experience. And it looks like I don't get to do that if I don't qualify, which sucks. And I am gutted by it, as is everybody else. But it doesn't make sense for this to be a UVS decision. And they're not going to tell us if it wasn't their decision, because we wouldn't, but there are members of our community who would kick off if this was a venue decision, if this was a previous employee's decision, if this was a decision that was outside of control. There are people in our community who would 100% harass the venue, harass old employees. We're not the community we used to be, where we would be friendly and open and be like, yeah, okay, you were locked into it. The venue didn't have space. Given the hurricane, there was too much damage to one of the halls and they can't accommodate us. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. If they said it was anyone's decision other than their own, the community backlash to those third parties would be huge. And it wouldn't be the upstanding members of our community that were doing it. It would be the toxic minority that have the loudest voice. So what do you think? Am I onto something here? Do you think it was a UVS decision, or do you think it's something they've kind of just got stuck with and they're doing what's best for the people they have partnerships with? Could it possibly have been an IP holder who was like, no, we want Worlds to be sealed off. We want it to be more self-contained. Do you think it's the last dying realms of this pure competitive play that we've had for this year? And next year with the more casual focus thanks to Scrabbles and this more open world, that next year we're going to see these much bigger events. But I have no facts. I have no information. No one has told me anything about what's going on. All I know is the way Josh has talked about OP, the way Josh has talked about the play experience, the way Josh talks about this game, I cannot see him making this decision. I cannot see him going, I want next year to be full of regionals and worlds and massive experience and giving the player base something to look forward to. And even if they drop, even if they lose, they've still got more to do. They've got the prize worlds, they've got everything. Worlds under Josh, if Josh had full control over this Worlds, this would have been a showcase. This would have been, this is Worlds. This is an event. This is something that's going to draw people in from around the world to take part in and support the people in their community that are playing, as well as a taste of what's going to be coming to your regionals next year. I expect prize wars, I expect PvE, I expect all this cool stuff, and it's all been locked out. And I do not think that was Josh's decision. Let me know what you think. Am I on something here? Am I just completely talking up my ass and it was a UVS decision? We don't know. I'm just throwing out a theory up there. I wish I had my tinfoil hat, because this is one of my wilder conspiracies, I guess, that UVS would be transparent about Worlds being locked, but not transparent about the reasons why. Although I understand that. But yeah, I'm sorry to beat a dead horse. I'm sorry to bring this back up into the community as we're all getting hyped for Star Trek and we're all cracking AOT 2, but due to regionals, I didn't get to comment on this. I had content already lined up and I didn't get a chance to record it because it kind of dropped. I just wanted to get out there. I do not think this was a UVS decision. I think this is a corner they've been backed into. They're doing the best with what they have, and I think they've been fighting it. Let me know what you think down below. Have I just chatted on for basically 10 minutes and repeating the exact same thing? Do you think this was a UVS decision? Do you think this is something they've been forced into? Let me know, and I will catch you in the next one. Hello, and I'm back, and yes, I hope people liked what I had to say about the initial World decision. If you didn't, let me know. Rochester CCG have stepped in and are essentially creating a Worlds festival, whereas the 64-player event was sealed off. We're now having Sean from Rochester come in and open up a last chance qualifier. So invites will no longer pass down the point leaderboard outside of events and regions, and any rejected invite will automatically go to the last chance qualifier as well. So if you've already qualified for Worlds and you top at Nats and earn your invite through Nats and you've already got an invite, it will pass down through the event. And if you are in the top 5 point earners for your region and you already have a Worlds invite, it will pass down through the leaderboard of your region. But after that, it will be all last chance qualifiers. So there is no detriment, there is no loss of invites for people who have been earning points, who are trying to top the events, if you do well at events and you already have an invite. So if you've already got invites, get in those games, get to Nats, and earn those amazing promos. It appears the last chance qualifier will take place on the Friday before Worlds. It'll be capped at 128 players through a standard format, and we will know how many seats we'll have. We will know how many seats we're playing for on February 6th, after the cut-off point for letting UVS know if you're going to Worlds or not has passed. It's very, very cool. I like that Rochester stepping in. There's going to be now side events. It's going to be retro. I imagine there's also going to be running some teams. All of the side events going on. It's making Worlds more of a demonstration. It's going to have the prize world. It's going to make it an event, which is something I literally just talked about in there. And you can tell Josh and the other members of UVS have been working very hard to secure this. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Critical Role stuff show up. It is a month out of Critical Role for Worlds. We might see some PvE, we might see some amazing previews. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but I would absolutely love to see this pop down at Worlds. As well as some robust prize wall with a combination of new special items provided by UVS and Rochester. Just so going to Worlds will give you access to amazing and special items. I'd written off going to Worlds, but I'm kind of looking at it again now. I think this is going to be very cool. I'm very excited to see what this is going to be. And if the prize wall for Nationals is anything to go off, the prize wall for Worlds is going to be even better. And the fact that a World Festival Retro event on the Sunday means we could have a World Retro Champion will be a big draw. I know so many people are excited for Retro now. I am very excited to see Retro at a world stage. And with all the side events going on, I'm sure there'll be some very cool challenger spotlight draft sealed. All the formats will have some kind of representation, and hopefully we can see some teams as well. Because if 128 people show up and only 7 get into Worlds. That's 121 people that are there for the weekend that will be looking to play in these tournaments. Hopefully it's filled to capacity. Hopefully people go out there to support the game, to support Rochester, and have Worlds be the festival it needs to be. Let me know, are you thinking about going? I know this does kind of suck for international players, and that's something we'll address on Sunday. The fact that if people reject if people reject the invite, which I know some people may be thinking about doing, it will be a pain. But hopefully, the fact that this is open up again, the fact people have now got more incentive to travel with the people that have already got their invites and support them and have that social event, means that we may see more people going and might see some change of minds of people that were thinking about declining the invite. I'm looking forward to it. I want more EU representation out there. I hope everyone with an EU invite does get out there. I know it's a pain for Oceania because this is a very expensive endeavor for Oceania, but hopefully we get a lot of players from Oceania. And the only other thing is, if you're unsure where you are standing, there is now the leaderboard. The leaderboard is up on UGN. This is something that people have been asking for a while now. So you can track your points, you can see if you're in contention, and if you know the people that have already qualified, you can write them off, and you can see how many points it is you need to get into that top 5. So let me know how you're feeling about Worlds. I think this is a huge win. I think it's the fact that UVS listened to the community. Josh, I imagine, was already working on this before the news even dropped about previous Worlds, as I've just said. And I think this is a huge win for the community. It's a huge win for universities and UVS. And I am just hoping that this year's trend of competitive focus and competitive players first and community second is dying out. And we're going to see a more community first, player first, competitive second drive. Because as much as we want this game to be competitive, we need to establish the strength of community first before we can start focusing on a competitive community. That's probably a topic for another time. I'll catch you on a bit. I just wanted to add a little bit of something extra onto the end of this video. And let me know, how do you feel about both sides of this video? And I'll catch you all in a bit. Bye.